So this is your overall spread for May. The first two cards, when I was pulling them, I asked for your overall energy. The middle cards that I will show to you are going to be energies that they want you to know that are coming up. And the last three cards are energies that they want you to try to focus on throughout the whole month of May to in order to obtain the best month possible. All right. So the first card that you got is Neverending Story. This talks about someone who is telling themselves the same story over and over again. It could be about another person. You could just say like, you can do this in many ways with people. You can set expectations with them and they're letting you down. And you can set labels with them. And with that label comes an expectation and they're not living up to that. So that can let you down. You can do this in many ways with work, with relationships, with yourself. Okay, and recently I just let go of a big one that I was carrying within myself, and that was me being insecure. I realized that me being insecure was affecting every aspect of my life and how I've walked through life since I could remember from age 3 until 44. So I decided to stop telling myself that story. I decided to write a new one. So they want you to go inward. They want you to reflect on what story that you're telling yourself, and they want you to put an end to it. Okay, now the good thing is that this is 10. 10 to me is like if you count 1 through 10, 10's the end of the cycle. So once you end the cycle, you start over at 1. And you start telling yourself a new story, and then you build your life in a better way from there. Okay? And then the supporting card for that was Daughter of the Sacred Heart. I'm going to read this one out of the book for you. It says, you're going to free yourself from a painful criticism or judgment held against you, perhaps by yourself, perhaps by another person or group of people. Human beings do not have the spiritual right to condemn each other or ourselves. Each human being is here to learn how to grow, and every human being will make mistakes along the way. You are realizing that you can claim responsibility for your actions and make amends where needed, without ever deserving to be attacked or put down. You are realizing that you don't have to be perfect to be pure of heart and deserving of respect and kindness. This makes the Divine Mother very happy. Okay, so that even said that this never-ending story could have been created from another person, and now you're just retelling it over to yourself in your head, and you're living that life. So it's time to let it go. It's time to recognize the pattern and just let it go. And you can see on her heart or her head thing that she's wearing, it says, every saint has a past, but every sinner has a future. Okay, so regardless of what your past story is, you can always create a new one. Like, you taking me back 3 years ago, I didn't even want to go to Reiki class, and now then I didn't want to read cards because I was worried about how others would judge me. And it's like I was just creating this story, and now here I am, and I'm way happier now than I was ever in my whole entire life. Okay, so tell yourself a new story, and the way that you would do this is by this card is called the Seeker of the Souls. In the regular tarot card, it is the Hermit card. So this is telling you, take time to reflect. Do your meditation. Go inward and really see the stories that you're telling yourself and the stories that you're telling about others and how they affect you. Okay, so when I was telling myself that I was insecure, that insecurity, I wasn't even conscious of it, was being projected out at others. Because then they would say something or they would trigger that insecurity in me, and that would make me respond to them. A lot of times it made me respond to them by me wanting to overgive because I wanted to prove myself and who I was and my worth. Okay, so now I know I let that insecurity go. I know my worth. I don't need to overprove myself. So it's really important to go inwards and really do lots of reflecting and see these patterns and see how deep they are and see how they truly affect you and so many others around you. Sorry about that. And then just the supportive card for this was having appreciation. So even if I think it's more internally, but it's a general read, so that this is for everyone. If you are having judgments of others, like say you're telling yourself a never-ending story about another person, then the way that you end that is finding appreciation. And when I was ending my stories with some people along my journey, and I'm not saying ending my relationships, I'm saying ending the negativity. I took the time to either journal it or think it in my head, every single good thing about the person that I could find, just to shift the energy, just to bring appreciation and just to bring joy and love back into the relationship. That to me was life-changing as well. Okay. And then the next card that you got is a very beautiful card. It's the star card. Okay. This card in this shaman deck is called the Path of the Stars. It means spiritual enlightenment coming to you, gaining higher wisdom. See, I think we can get intuitive guidance. So you are either getting intuitive guidance from the stars, okay, like your angels, your guides, whatever you think is out there is going to give you guidance, or you're gaining a higher knowledge of self, higher wisdom. So you're opening up. You're going to level up hugely in the month of May, and then once you level up, once you release this, like me, if I was still insecure, I wouldn't be on YouTube right now. I wouldn't be doing workshops because old Jenny didn't want to talk in front of people. So I rewrote my story. I made a new path for myself, And although like this path in this photo may look a little cloudy and a little fuzzy and a little, foggy, because when you're shifting this energy, it still kind of makes you feel like clouded because you're still feeling the old energy, but it eases. It eases. As you keep pushing forward, it eases and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. Okay? So the card that supports this is being open, being able to receive. So like go into that hermit stage, take the time to receive and be opened. There is one other thing on this card that really is drawing me in now. Sorry to go backwards, but it looks like he's like dropping sage out of his hand. Sage is a very clariful, cleansing, purifying leaf. So it's looked like he's going inward to release and purify himself. Like he's dropping that into the fire. He's letting it go. Okay. Also, hermit is very internal. And then the star card is very spiritual. So you've got the internal realm, you got the spiritual realm, and then the next card that you got is the drum card, which is the earthly realm. So then once you clear it out of the internal and you clear it out of the mental spiritual realm, then this manifests for you on the earthly realm. Okay? And that's usually how it goes. It goes emotions, it goes mental, it goes earthly realm. Okay, so you gotta feel the emotion first to recognize it. You gotta process it mentally, and then you clear it spiritually, and then it manifests in a whole new path and journey on the physical realm. Okay, so once you do this on the physical realm, you can see this man is still, like he's sitting here, he's enjoying himself, he's having inner harmony within himself, but he's also has friendships around him. So he's gained that new gratitude, the new appreciation for himself, and the peace that he's found for within himself. Okay. And the card that went along with this one was the yin card. Now that yin card is saying the same thing. Yin is being open to receiving. So taking the time out again in order to receive. But the yin card is also an unbalanced feminine energy is really going to be triggered by what she feels eternally. So, like I've already explained through this, once you tap into those emotions and you learn how to balance them, it helps you bring mental clarity and then, just growth all along. So then I asked for what energy could best support you for the whole entire month of May. And I got chaos and conflict. So I was like, okay, I need to clarify this. So I had to pull some more cards. Okay. And I think like what this is saying to you is during those times of like chaos and conflict, it's time to shed a new skin. Like if you look at this, it looks like he's like a giraffe, but now he's turned into a zebra. It's like during this chaos and conflict, if someone's going to come at me with anger, I no longer am going to respond in anger. I'm going to take a step back. And the first time I did this, it was really hard for me. I took a step back and I said, nope, I'm no longer responding to you in anger. If you want to sit down and talk, we can sit down and talk our problems out. But I no longer allow this energy coming at me. And it takes time to shift, but that's you standing in your true power. That's you standing as this like balanced person. It's being fair to yourself and it's being fair to the other person. So it's learning how to sit in that yin energy and take in what you want to take in. Okay? Like be fair to yourself. The other thing I want to point out about these cards is 33 and 3-8. So if you look at the number 3, the positive aspects of 3 is being like expressing yourself. It's inspiration, it's insight, it's optimism, and it's joy. Okay, but now the negative aspects of 3 is being critical, argumentative, impatient, judgmental. Okay, so it takes balance. Okay. But then 8 to me is unity. So if you figure out how to balance all these number 3s, and it can bring balance into your life, all right? So just to clarify a little bit more, I pulled from a new deck of cards I just got from my son. I'm super excited. It's so sweet of him. I pulled the Tiger's Eye, which means in empowerment. So it says, tiger eyes symbolizes prosperity and encourages the right use of your power. It balances your needs with those of others to find clarity and the best way out. So the self-understanding aspect of the stone is a child of the sun and earth with untold powers. You make your own fate. Assert yourself wisely. Bring hidden talents to the fore and accept your imperfections. There's a tendency towards obsessiveness and being spaced out. Ground yourself. Explore your past to discover causes of these traits now. Deal sensibly with day-to-day reality and face challenges boldly. Okay? And the healing insight for this card says doing what gives you joy increases your well-being. So that's what I started off by saying in the beginning of the reading. By you breaking down these lower energies, you learn how to create more joy in your life. And you do that by just looking at how you feel every day of your life. So it's like, I like to go out with the girls to the bar. I used to do that from 10 to 2. Then the next day, I couldn't even move. So now I still meet the girls for lunch. and we still have fun, and and I'm still seeing my friends and family, so I'm not cutting them out of my life. So I'm learning ways to like shift my energy to a more suitable way with me. I do this with food, I do this with relationships, I do it with people, I do it with myself, So yeah, that's your advice for the month of May. And if you could take a moment just to hit that like button, it helps me out a lot. And if you want to hear future readings, then hit the subscribe button. Everyone have a great May. Peace out. Love ya.